दोस्तों, एक बार फिर से वेलकम बैक टू नो हाफ ट्रूथ्स, पूरा सच इनसाइड आउट पे। आज हम एक आपके लिए आउट ऑफ द ऑर्डिनरी स्टोरी लेके आए हैं, एक कंट्रोवर्शियल टॉपिक पे, और वो टॉपिक है कल्चरल फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी। कितनी कल्चरल फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी हमारी कंट्री में है, और जो सब टॉपिक है उसका वो है एक फिल्म जो रिसेंटली बनी थी। उसमें एक बहुत ही फेमस एक्टर हैं इंडिया के, दलजीत दोसांझ, जिन्होंने एक्ट किया है, लेकिन वो फिल्म जो है इंडिया में नहीं रिलीज़ हो पा रही है। वो इसलिए कि उसमें एक पाकिस्तान के एक्टर ने भी काम किया है। हमारे साथ चर्चा करने के लिए वानी त्रिपाठी जी हैं, जो कि मेंबर सेंट्रल बोर्ड ऑफ फिल्म सर्टिफिकेशन रही हैं, फॉर्मर स्पोक्सपर्सन रही हैं, भारतीय जनता पार्टी की एक थिएटर पर्सनालिटी हैं और एक एक्टर भी हैं। वो फिल्म इंडस्ट्री की इनसाइडर हैं, तो वो जो कुछ भी कहेंगी उसमें एक हेफ्ट होगा, जिसको कहा जा सकता है, तो हमें उसको सीरियसली लेना पड़ेगा। और हमारे दूसरे गेस्ट आज हैं हमारे पाकिस्तान के फॉर्मर सफ़ीर, पाकिस्तान के नहीं, इंडिया के पाकिस्तान में फॉर्मर हाई कमिश्नर, वो वहाँ डिप्टी हाई कमिश्नर भी रह चुके हैं, और इंडिया में उन्होंने पाकिस्तान डेस्क पे बहुत सालों काम किया है। उसके अलावे ये हिस्टोरियन भी हैं। अगर मुझे अपने बारे में इस तरह की कोई चीज़ कहनी पड़े तो मैं कहूँगा मैं स्टूडेंट ऑफ हिस्ट्री हूँ, बट इनके बारे में ये कहा जा सकता है कि ये एक हिस्टोरियन हैं, और उन्होंने बहुत ही अच्छी अच्छी किताबें लिखी हैं, हाईली क्रिटिकली एक्लेम्ड ऑन वेरियस एस्पेक्ट्स ऑफ इंडियाज़ हिस्ट्री। और apart from that, he has also been speaking on various other subjects apart from, dealing only with history. So आइए हम आज पहला क्वेश्चन जो है वो एम्बेसडर TCA राघवन से करते हैं, और मेरा ये क्वेश्चन है कि ये फिल्म जो इंडिया में नहीं रिलीज़ हो पा रही है और जिसे बाहर सभी देख रहे हैं इंटरनेशनली, और इसमें जो एक्टर हैं उनका सपोर्ट प्रोड्यूसर्स को शामिल है, तो इसके बारे में आप कुछ कहना चाहेंगे?
वेल, थैंक यू वेरी मच। मुझे थोड़ा अजीब लगता है कि एक फ़िल्म जो उसको लोग पाकिस्तान में देख सकते हैं और सभी देशों में देख सकते हैं, और भारतीय फिल्म है, उसे आप इंडिया में नहीं देख सकते। इट्स डिफ़िकल्ट टू अंडरस्टैंड वाई, बिकॉज इफ़ द रीज़न इज़ दैट देयर इज़ अ पाकिस्तानी एक्ट्रेस इन द फिल्म, and in the currently supercharged atmosphere of India-Pakistan relations, you don't want that, then it's not a good enough reason, because a film requires a certain investment by the producer, by the entire ecosystem producing it, and to hold up its release on the grounds that an actress is from Pakistan, it doesn't make sense. It's like saying that because of the current situation with Pakistan, हमें मेहदी हसन को नहीं सुनना चाहिए, या नुसरत फ़तेह अली खान को सुनना मतलब किसी तरह से देशद्रोही कार्रवाई होगी. I think it's taking it too far. I understand India-Pakistan tensions, but I think to hold up the release of a film which people are seeing all over the world in India, it doesn't make sense.
तो आपके कहने का मतलब ये है कि contacts between the two countries, despite the tension which is currently on between India and Pakistan, should go on. Is that what you're saying?
No, I don't want to stretch my argument. I don't think in a time of tension as there has been between India and Pakistan, obviously the rest of normal life cannot go on. It's not practical. But this is a film which was envisaged and made before the current tensions. Just because there is a Pakistani actress in it, to hold up its release in India somehow doesn't fit in. It doesn't make sense to me at all.
मुझे ऐसा लगता है वानी जी कि एम्बेसडर राघवन शायद ये कहना चाह रहे हैं कि इंडिया का जो ये कल्चरल बॉयकॉट है फिल्म्स के ऊपर पाकिस्तान पर, ये शायद उतना सही नहीं है, इफ़ आई अंडरस्टूड यू करेक्टली।
देखिए राघवन जी, पहले तो हमें इसको थोड़ा सा विस्तृत करके, ब्रॉड करके देखना पड़ेगा। आपको याद है करण जौहर साहब ने एक फ़िल्म बनाई थी ए दिल मुश्किल, उसमें फवाद खान थे, और उस समय भी एक बहुत बड़ी कंट्रोवर्सी हुई थी और फिल्म को लेकर बहुत चर्चा हुई, और उस समय भी बहुत सारे सोसाइटल, सामाजिक, राजनीतिक ग्रुप्स ने उसके बारे में बहुत सारी ओपिनियन क्रिएट की थी। एज अ फिल्म मेकर, Karan took responsibility for casting somebody from Pakistan. Even in that particular time period, the conditions and the relationships were strained. And he himself, you know, took a decision to also abridge the role of the said actor and so on. और mass protest हुए, सब कुछ हुए, फिल्म चर्चा में बहुत दिनों तक रही। लेकिन सर, we must understand that making a film is not silos to where it exists. There is a context to what we are talking today. And right now the context is as heinous as the Pahalgam attack. अगर हम इसे अलग से करके देख रहे होते तो बहुत सारी बातें शायद दूसरी तरह से चर्चा में होती और उनकी चर्चा अलग तरीके से होती। पहले तो मैं ये याद दिलाना चाहूँगी कि फिल्म इंडस्ट्री के खुद एसोसिएशंस ने ये क्लैरियन कॉल ली पहलगाम के बाद, और मैं बहुत जिम्मेदारी से ये कह रही हूँ, अगर आप मुझे इंसाइडर मान रहे हैं इंडस्ट्री के, तो ये मास ट्रेड एसोसिएशंस हैं जिसमें प्रोड्यूसर, एक्टर, डायरेक्टर्स, हज़ारों लाखों कंटेंट क्रिएटर्स शामिल हैं। और उन्होंने ये कॉल लिया कि इस तरह के हमले के बाद अगर अभी भी आप इसको लूजली लेंगे या आप इस पर रिएक्ट नहीं करेंगे तो आप कहीं ना कहीं यू आर getting away from the main narrative of what terrorism means for a country like India. Now coming to the film, Diljit Dosanjh is not just a very popular actor, he is also a very, very powerful name when it comes to global consciousness of cinema. याद रखिए, वो पहले ऐसे पंजाबी सुपरस्टार हैं जो मेन स्ट्रीम हिंदी फिल्मों में भी उतने ही काबिल और पॉपुलर हैं जितने कि वो अपनी मातृभाषा पंजाबी में हैं। तो जब हम इस कॉन्टेक्स्ट को देखते हैं और जब हम फिल्म्स को आज जब भी हम फिल्म्स की बात करते हैं, हम ये भी कहते हैं कि सबसे बड़ा एक्सपोर्ट इंडिया का और इंडियननेस का इज़ बॉलीवुड टू द वर्ल्ड, जबकि बॉलीवुड शब्द अपने आप में बहुत छोटा है, इंडियन फिल्म इंडस्ट्री वो शब्द ज़्यादा बड़ा है। तो जब हम अपने देश के रिप्रेजेंटेशन की बात करें और हम इतने भयंकर कॉन्टेक्स्ट को पीछे रख के बात करेंगे, we cannot be talking in silos, sir. We have to be very aware that every film that hits the box office is a make or break of public opinion. या तो जनता आपको एक्सेप्ट करेगी या रिजेक्ट करेगी। यानी वो फ्राइडे जब आपकी फिल्म रिलीज हो रही है, लोग आपको गले लगा रहे हैं या आपको टाटा बाय बाय कह रहे हैं। तो इस स्थिति में आई थिंक दिस कैन नॉट बी सब्जेक्टिव टू ओनली कास्टिंग an actor from across the border. I think the larger issue is the kind of sentiment, the kind of anger, angst against this heinous act of terror that happened in Pahalgam. Yes, even if it's unfortunate, this film became a matter of debate, and I think there is a context to it. We cannot look at it from just one eye. We will have to be comprehensive about it.
दो चीज़ें मुझे स्ट्राइक करती हैं। एक तो ये जो एम्बेसडर राघवन ने कहा कि साहब जब ये फिल्म बन रही थी उस समय तो पहलगाम नहीं हुआ था और फिल्म बनी, लेकिन अब वो इसलिए नहीं चल सकती इंडिया में क्योंकि उसमें एक पाकिस्तान एक्टर ने काम किया है। तो अगर हाइंडसाइट में हम उसको देखेंगे तो ये कितना फेयर होगा प्रोड्यूसर के प्रति, एक्टर्स के प्रति। आई मीन आफ्टर ऑल द होल प्रोडक्शन लाइनअप और जो कास्ट है, एक दो को छोड़ के मेरे ख्याल से सभी इंडियंस होंगे उसमें, ज़्यादातर इंडियंस होंगे। सो व्हाई शुड दे सफ़र फॉर इट? एंड सेकेंडली, आर वी अज्यूमिंग दैट एनीवन who is not boycotting or not going out to see the film is the only one who is patriot or national, and the people who go to see are not?
देखिए सर, ये तो बिल्कुल वही वाली बात है कि आपने टीवी आज खोला और क्रिकेट मैच देखा और शायद मैं किसी मीटिंग में बैठी थी और मैं मैच नहीं देख पाई। मुझे लगता है अगेन इसका हम लेंस इतना छोटा मायोपिक ना करें। मैंने इसीलिए आपको करण जौहर साहब की बनाई इतने साल पहले की फिल्म की याद दिलाई।
जौहर साहब को जाके उस समय के जो पॉलिटिकल बॉसेस थे बम्बई में, उनसे जाके जो है अपोलोजाइज करना पड़ा था, जहाँ तक मुझे याद आ रहा है।
उसमें बहुत सारे और विषय भी थे कि वो थिएटर में पहुँच पाएगी कि नहीं फिल्म, लोगों की क्या ओपिनियन है। लेकिन इस वक्त देखिए, एज ए प्रोड्यूसर, मैं आज फिल्म भी प्रोड्यूस करती हूँ, मैं जानती हूँ आपके कहने का मतलब ये है कि जब इतने सारे लोगों की क्रिएटिव एनर्जीज किसी फिल्म में लगे, मोर देन 150 पीपल आर अ पार्ट ऑफ द क्रिएशन ऑफ अ फिल्म। लेकिन मुझे लगता है सर, यहाँ एक फिल्म विषय नहीं है। फिल्म से बढ़कर जो देश में माहौल है, जिस तरह की बातें हो रही हैं, हाँ फिल्म बनी होगी 2 साल पहले या 1.5 साल पहले, पर मुझे लगता है ये सिर्फ 2 साल पहले का विषय नहीं है। बहुत दिनों से ये बात चल रही है दैट आर वी गोइंग टू कीप वर्किंग with artists or people who represent a nation which is almost standing against the national security of our own country. I think it's a larger question which is very much up for debate. और जहाँ तक इस पर्टिकुलर फिल्म का सवाल है, कौन देखने जाता है, कौन बॉयकॉट करता है, इसके नंबर्स तो आप और हम नहीं गिन पाएंगे ना।
तो उसी समय पता चलेगा जब यहाँ फिल्म रिलीज होगी।
मैंने वही कहा कि the larger debate is the public sentiment is completely against indulging or having any conversation with anyone who belongs to the country which stands with terrorists and is very much a part of what happened in Pahalgam. And I think no other discussion can go beyond this sentiment right now. So the context is very important, Raghavan ji. We cannot talk about it out of that.
I appreciate that. Ambassador Raghavan, you see, I came across this news item a couple of days ago कि इंडिया जो है वो एशिया कप है या कुछ इस तरह का कोई टूर्नामेंट होने वाला है जिसमें वो पार्टिसिपेट कर रहा है क्रिकेट में, और वहाँ वो जाके पाकिस्तान के साथ भी खेलेंगे। मेरे ख्याल से 10 सितंबर की तारीख मुकर्रर हुई है, वो एक न्यूट्रल वेन्यू पे खेला जाएगा। तो मेरा प्रश्न ये है आपसे कि भाई एक तरफ तो हम इस फिल्म को बॉयकॉट कर रहे हैं और दूसरी तरफ जो है वो पाकिस्तान के साथ क्रिकेट खेल रहे हैं, तो ये मुझे समझ में नहीं आता कि इस तरह की पॉलिसी जो है वो अगर हम फॉलो कर रहे हैं, इज़ दैट अ वेरी कंसिस्टेंट पॉलिसी टू फॉलो?
No, the question is not of consistency of policy, because policies can never be totally consistent. But मुझे जो लगता है, we should, I agree, look at the wider context. मतलब सिर्फ फिल्म का सवाल नहीं है, क्योंकि ये तो है नहीं कि पहलगांव के पहले बहुत सारे पाकिस्तानी एक्टर्स और एक्ट्रेसेस यहाँ पर फिल्मों में काम कर रहे थे. दिस इटसेल्फ वाज अनयूजुअल केस, बिकॉज 2015-2016 के बाद by and large cultural contacts between India and Pakistan have come to a halt. So the larger context is important. It's not just this film, and it's not just the context after the Pahalgam outrage. There's a wider context. और वो wider context ये है कि we are trying to, this is the government approach, I think, that Pakistan policy has to be securitized. That means it has to be looked at from a purely security perspective. Because that is why all kinds of content.
इसमें फिल्म का तो फिर कोई बहुत ज़्यादा रोल नहीं रहेगा. I mean,
because
affect the security.
Because this is my larger point, that I mean, if we think we can deal effectively with a neighbor like Pakistan only by securitizing policy, we are wrong. We are not just a military power or an economic power or a social power or a political power. We are also a cultural power. So I agree with what she said, that we are a major cultural force, and especially Bollywood is a force multiplier many times over. So when you are dealing with Pakistan, you don't want to use that major force. You want to cut yourself off from using that force when it comes to dealing with Pakistan. So ये policy मुझे समझ में नहीं आई, that I will only deal with Pakistan through a security perspective means that you are not using all your strengths.
Sir, you know, you've been a diplomat all your life. Therefore, may I ask you a leading question on what you just said about cultural contact, and the soft power of culture which India actually has, and perhaps we are not using it to its optimum. You know, looking at our neighbors, which are the countries with whom we have great cultural relations?
You see, the question,
I don't think so. There are very many.
I think the fact is,
What readily comes to my mind is Bangladesh.
if you stand back,
And why not?
if you stand back and look at South Asia as a whole,
Ji.
you will find there is only one cultural hegemon. If there is a single cultural force in South Asia, it is India. There is nobody else, and nobody really comes up in that league. What you are saying is, I will not use my cultural projection where Pakistan is concerned.
No, I'm talking about all India's neighbors. How much have we used our cultural heft in terms of contacts?
I think they're using it all the time. Because if
I don't see much happening.
No, it may not be something which is very visible, because cultural policy is not like any other, it's a more invisible.
There was a film which got created on Mujibur Rahman some time back, and that film was supposed to be, you know, I mean, it was directed by one of our very famous actors, directors,
Shyam Benegal. And National Film Development Corporation was co-producer, the government of India.
It came and God only knows where it went.
No, it went to Toronto. Let me put it on
No, but who knows about that film in India? No one knows. I don't know.
You see, I don't think, first of all, you should...
Why did it not happen?
First of all, I don't think you should, reduce everything in culture to what the government does. You are a cultural force not because of government. You are a cultural force because of what happens outside of government.
I don't see
Bollywood
happening with Bangladesh. You know, you see, West Bengal also doesn't do much with Bangladesh because it's a state. We don't do much with Bangladesh because we are sitting here in Delhi. I mean, I'm just telling you like a devil's advocate.
Whether you do or not, you find that it is your literature, your films, your poetry which is talked about in these countries. It doesn't require, everything doesn't require a government policy to be effective.
So I'm not
Most of the
that. Our visibility in other countries in terms of cultural heft is not there to an extent it should be. There is the limited point I'm making.
I would disagree. I think if we have heft in our neighborhood, it is because of your cultural presence. And it far outweighs anything which you do in political or security or economic terms. It's not related to government policy.
Anyway, I would beg to differ, but let me come to Vaniji and ask you that the main actor, Daljit Dosanjh, he has actually supported his producer in releasing the films all over the place, including Pakistan. Now, if he's done that, then is he liable to some kind of censor by us here in India, or no?
See, I cannot speak for him because he's a person in his own right and has a mind of his own. But I do know that the industry, both the music industry in India across board, across not just Punjabi, even Indian Hindi music industry, and the industry did approach him and say that you are a part of this film, and this is what is the issue that we, sort of think is on the table. And again, this is entirely up to him, because I should not be representing Diljit Dosanjh for what he wishes to say or does not say, and his support to the producers. But I will again come to this. This is the first time in a very long time, Raghavendra ji, I have seen the Indian film industry, both Hindi and Punjabi, coming together to basically support the fact that this film, because it has an actor from Pakistan, should, absolutely should not hit the screens here, and it's all in public fora. I'm not telling you something hidden. And after a very long time, I have seen there is a consensus of opinion as far as working with artists / actors from Pakistan is concerned. Going back to one of the other things, whether we should listen to music of the Ghazal maestros and so on, those things were always, there was a counterpoint to those, points of views before. But I think after Pahalgam, there is an absolute consensus, and it's very clear from the film industry that this time we are not going to keep doing, business as usual with you by making films or doing things like those, because what you have done to us, you should also remember that the attack was not just killing of these 26 people. It was a very dense, a very dark and a very dangerous message which played out. Here we were looking at Kashmir, the elections had just happened, there was a newly elected government, and tourism was blossoming in all possible. I was in Kashmir just last year or so, around the same time. And now all of that has come to a crashing halt. So we must understand the ramification of this message is larger. And that is what the industry has taken in its wake. It's a rare, in fact, incident. I have not seen the film industry to be so much in one voice against something and standing united.
Sir, let me address this aspect that most of the Pakistani actors or even sports people, I think by and large almost everyone, they come here, at least the cricketers whenever they used to come here, but now it was more of the actors and all in the film industry. They come here, they make lots of money and they get a lot of fame also, but when they go back to Pakistan, I don't think so they even come out with one statement which may sound objective as far as India is concerned about whatever we have to undergo in terms of tragedy here. Now, if they, having made money over here, go back and don't say a word in favor of the country which sort of gave them the kind of money it gave them, then what do you think? I mean, this kind of a behavior, and yet to allow them to be part of a cultural dynamic situation, allow them to come here, as if culture knows no boundary. How fair is that?
Well, I would say that first of all, for the past, I would say 10 or 12 years, there's not been very much toing and froing of Pakistani actors coming to India or Indian actors and performers or cultural artists going to Pakistan. It used to be the case before that, but that process has more or less now ground to a halt, as I earlier said. So it's not something which is happening now. Should it happen or not happen? I think where our neighbors are concerned, we have to take longer term views. I agree entirely that there is a huge and enormous amount of outrage whenever there is a major terrorist attack. And that is inevitable and natural. But we have to take a longer term view of our neighbors. It is not as if because of the outrage in India after the Pahalgam terrorist attack or even after Operation Sindoor, there is no more danger of terrorist attacks from Pakistan. That risk remains so even now. So you have to take a longer term view. And in taking that longer term view, we have to bring all our strengths into place. To say that we will not have any economic dealings with Pakistan or not have any cultural dealings with Pakistan, you're making Pakistan into a short term issue, when in fact it's been from the very beginning a long term issue. Now this question about Pakistani actors, when they used to come here, they used to make money here, but then they don't go back as protagonists of an Indian point of view in Pakistan. I think...
No, I'm not saying protagonist. I'm saying that since they're here and they are actually exposed to the Indian environment, which is quite different than the Pakistani environment in which they exist, having been exposed to that, they could be a little more empathetic towards what is happening here. They would understand that feeling much better rather than basing their views on second-hand information.
My own sense is that where cultural influences are concerned, the fact of Pakistanis coming here, the fact of they are seeing Pakistani Indian movies, being exposed to Indian literature, etc., does have an impact. If you are looking for a visible impact, it won't be there. But I think the impact is there. It's subterranean, it's gradual, It's long term, but the impact is there. And by shutting off those channels, by saying that these people go back, they've made money here, but they don't take the kind of attitude which we like, I don't think we are acting in our own interests. We are taking a very limited short-term view that because someone has come here, he's lived here for some time, he should go back and have a more Indian-oriented perspective. It doesn't work like that. We are not being realistic. We can look at other adversarial relationships. After all, look at our relationship with China. It's no less adversarial. And there is none of this cultural factor working with the same intensity as it does with South Asia. But we don't have an expectation that Chinese making money over here should go back and have a different attitude towards India. No, it doesn't work like that. That's not the real world. We have to be realistic where it comes to neighbors and adversarial relationships.
Do you confirm?
And I don't think we should be sentimental about it.
Okay.
Well, you see, some things are also beyond money. And for example, the Producers Guild of India, which I'm very much a part of today as a film producer, one of the most powerful bodies of the film industry, which has producers from all languages, all formats. It's not just the Hindi film industry, that's why I'm saying the Indian film industry. Also took a clarion call that we have to stop somewhere and call spade a spade. This is not about earning money. Producers can also have a point of view, no? That chap is popular, this chap is popular, I want to make my money. It's all about the money. But you know, some things go beyond just the sentiment of earning money and buying and selling things. And remember, the commerce in the business of cinema is exactly the way the stock market is. You're as good as your last Friday. But I think this time it's gone beyond just the basic tenet of, you know, how much money am I going to make and how much money am I going to lose. And I think that's a very important, you know, sort of paradigm in terms of, you know, the industry this time. And you are right, I concur with you. You come here, you make money, there is barely any industry across the border. And whatever there is are copied versions of whatever you see, you know, as successful films in India. And I'm not saying there's something wrong in copying. I mean, we are also called all kinds of things, you know, we also plagiarize so many screenplays and so on and so forth. And not that it's nice to do, I totally do not stand with it. But the point is that wherever you find livelihood, जैसे हिंदी में एक कहावत है ना, आपको जहाँ आजीविका मिलती है, आप उसके पेट पे लात नहीं मार सकते. And when you talk about empathy, I think it's a very important point. Any act of terror happening anywhere where innocent lives have been lost and civilians have been killed, you don't have to be a national of a certain country to be able to, you know,
मेरे ख्याल से उनके यहाँ इस तरह की behavioral pattern इसलिए भी है कि क्योंकि वो बहुत ज़्यादा डरते हैं. अगर वो थोड़ा भी कुछ भी भारत के फेवर में बोलेंगे, then maybe they will have to pay for it very heavily over there.
Which means there are ghosts of the past which still linger on as far as the societal, you know, ramification or the cultural discourses. I'm again saying this time it has gone way beyond just the commerce or the business of cinema. And I think it's an opportune moment that we all take one step back and look very much at the industry which was implicated for just being money bags. हम हमेशा कहते थे ना, box office successes is what makes the film industry thrive. I think this is the first time that there is a complete consensus that this is not about money, this is not about who is how much, what is the level or the ratio of popularity of a certain artist. This is about the nation and we stand together.
एक छोटी सी चीज़ मैं आप दोनों के सामने रखना चाहूँगा और वो है हमारे दूसरे नेबर की, बांग्लादेश की. एक साल से कुछ मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है जब से ये शेख हसीना का जो वाक़या हुआ है कि अब उन लोगों की तरफ से, बांग्लादेश की तरफ से जो है एक ऐसी कोशिश है कि हर फील्ड में जो है वो हम लोग जो करेंगे वो करेंगे, लेकिन स्पेशली इन द फील्ड ऑफ कल्चर एंड स्लाइटली मोर benign sectors, I find that they are also becoming a little more selective and restrictive in what they want to do with India. Am I correct in feeling the way I do, Ambassador Raghavan?
Well, certainly, मतलब पिछले साल से relations with Bangladesh have gone down quite a lot. There is no doubt about it, and there reasons for that are well known. और उसकी वजह एक ये भी है, जिस तरह लोग कहते हैं that in Bangladesh there's always been the spirit of 1947, and there's also always been the spirit of 1971. And just like there was religious nationalism, there was also linguistic nationalism. So ये दोनों, to some extent, these were always two contradictory impulses in Bangladesh. Sometimes one impulse gained the upper hand, sometimes the other impulse gained the upper hand. Right now, I think the spirit of 1971 is certainly not as powerful as it was, let's say, a few years ago. पर मुझे जो लगता है कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी ये है कि एक तीसरी स्पिरिट भी आ गई है बीच में, बिकॉज और वो दैट इज़ द स्पिरिट ऑफ 2024, जिसे वो कहते हैं मॉनसून रेवोल्यूशन, विच इज़ यंगर जनरेशन गेटिंग एनर्जाइज्ड इन अ वे जिस मतलब वी हैव नॉट सीन इन साउथ एशिया बिफोर. कुछ हद तक हमने श्रीलंका में देखा था 2021-2022 में, बट इट वाज नॉट सो मच स्टूडेंट्स. बट इस तरह का स्टूडेंट्स इन्वॉल्वमेंट लीडिंग टू सच अ पावरफुल political change we have not seen in South Asia before. We have not
to bring the Indo-Bangladesh relations into a state of some kind of normalcy, wouldn't cultural interface, increased emphasis on cultural interface, wouldn't it help? Or would it actually not really be very effective at this point in time because the Bangladeshis would not perhaps be as enthusiastic?
I think the great thing about culture is it works on its own. You don't need to push it. And I would say that in a context such as this, what will be most effective will be the cultural interface. Because and if our long-term objective is to strengthen the spirit of 1971, certainly the most effective instrument you have is a cultural interface.
So I have a sad narrative to play out. I know artists from Bangladesh, film actors, also theatre people, also filmmakers. The condition is very dense right now. Those who were seen as people...
Dense, I can't figure out. Dense means bad.
Dense meaning it's bad. And they are very scared. And they're also very scared because there were a bunch of artists, including, I cannot name them because most of them fear for their lives. Those who were seen as a part of the whole ecosystem or the cultural ethos which stood with Sheikh Hasina. And quite a few of them went in hiding. Couple of them also scattered themselves here, there, everywhere. Some people locked their homes and, you know, went away incognito almost. So what kind of a cultural exchange can we think of at a time where the conditions prevailing inside the country for artists especially, and those where the binaries are very glaringly sharp.
Yes, absolutely. That
these are the ones who were with that dispensation and these are the ones people have been arrested, people's properties have been, locked up. They have been asked for papers about, land acquisitions and studios and things like that. All kinds of things, they're not even being reported. But in that kind of a scenario where the binaries are so sharp, how do you even expect that there should be any kind of a, cultural narrative playing out? Because here there are artists and people at large who are connected to the cultural ethos of Bangladesh, who are fearing whether they will be thrown out. So many of them have had their passports confiscated. And we don't know about this because this has not been reported. They do not even have the, freedom, and which is a very sort of pun intended word right now, to even leave the country and, not come back, leaving behind, their theatre organizations.
Culture is something which, automatically doesn't really need anyone to give a feeling. When it has to sort of get revived and acquire a certain amount of vibrancy, it'll do on its own without really anyone wanting or trying.
Where I would say yes to it, but I think Bangladesh is a dynamic situation right now.
It is.
You cannot now, for just at this very moment, describe it as, it is all going to be the same tomorrow. So I think it's a complete way.
It's a dynamic situation. But what about Afghanistan? Afghanistan, you know, how to sort of connect with Afghanistan. I mean, Afghanistan we had a direct connect with, and now we seem to have lost all that connect. And the kind of political situation which exists there really is not very conducive to this kind of a. What do you have to say?
If I could just
Yeah, please.
stay on Bangladesh for a bit, or even on Pakistan.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree they are highly polarized. It's in a highly polarized situation just now. In Pakistan, I entirely agree about the support which the state provides to terrorist groups. But if I am confronted with a specific question, that should I allow my cultural products to go to Pakistan or Bangladesh now in this situation, should I allow or not? I would say please allow.
Yes.
Please allow your books, your music, your to go.
Bangladesh, we may want to do it, but you see, the situation over there is something quite akin. They may not allow.
Let them not allow, but you don't have to stop it.
We don't stop anyways. I don't think so. We are
For
stopping.
instance, Pakistan, we have stopped everything.
Yes.
You have no contacts at all. But I would say that if a Pakistani book seller wants to come and visit and buy books in India, attend a book exhibition or a book fair, why stop him? And the same would apply for Bangladesh. I understand all that is wrong in that country. But I would say that we have to live in our neighborhood. We cannot shut ourselves off from our neighbors. It's not like dealing with South Africa during the apartheid regime that I will cut off all contacts. I have nothing to do with you. I mean, I'll see no evil, I'll hear no evil, and I'll certainly not have any interaction with you. You don't have that luxury in your own neighborhood. You know, and you have to live up to that. I mean, this is the real problem you have to confront. That it's not an abstract black versus white issue which you can deal with on the basis of purely sentimental or ethical reasons. You have to have a much more pragmatic and longer term approach. And I would say with Bangladesh, certainly even at this very bad time, we should try to see as to how we can be more effective over there, rather than say that things are so bad, I don't want to have anything to do with them.
हमारी तो जो उनके प्रति इस वक्त की पॉलिसी है कि भाई अगर हम वो कुछ करना चाहते हैं तो हम तो कुछ करेंगे ही कल्चरल सेक्टर में. मैं किसी से बात कर रहा था कुछ दिनों पहले, वो यहाँ नहीं इस कंट्री के बाहर थे, और उन्होंने ये कहा, एंड ही इज़ अ बांग्लादेशी एंड ही इज़ वर्कड विद द अर्लियर डिस्पेंसेशन, एंड आई सेड व्हाई डोंट वी डू समथिंग. वो मुजीबुर रहमान की फ़िल्म के ऊपर बात चली, तो मैंने उनको कहा कि साहब फिल्म पे ही कुछ करते हैं, और वेस्ट बंगाल के साथ ही अगर आप कुछ कर सकते हैं तो करिए. तो सबसे पहले उनका जो ये वेरी स्पॉन्टेनियसली ही रिएक्टेड कि अरे वहाँ के लोग कैसे करेंगे, अभी उनको तो प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगी. सो यू नो इन सम वे,
पर ये सच है. मुजीब के कुछ कास्ट मेंबर्स जिनका मैं नाम नहीं ले पा रही हूँ, और मैं उस फिल्म के मतलब दृष्टा रही, मेरे सामने बनी. श्याम बाबू जीवित थे, अब दिवंगत हैं, और आई मीन थिंग्स आर वेरी वेरी स्ट्रेंज एंड बैड. And also to the extent that some of them were the biggest stars of Bangladesh. People who acted in the film were probably the most recognizable stars of the country, and they were seen across board as some of the best actors, you know, of the country. And right now it's a situation where
that, you know, we should, despite all this, keep on trying. Is what
No, because I think the context is important. You know, we obviously have a certain you know, certain.
They are our neighbors. They are
No, we have a certain memory of Sheikh Mujib, and we certainly want to revive that and keep that memory intact. But we have to remember that in the past 10 years, everything that was associated with Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, including his party, had become deeply unpopular, and there were all kinds of views in Bangladesh about the corruption, about the rigging of elections, which all contributed to that unpopularity. That context is important. You cannot say that people in Bangladesh should have the same view today as they had 50 years ago. Because I think that much empathy we have to also have. We have to be sensitive to that particular context. So I would say that you have to play a longer term You have to have a longer term hand. You cannot follow a policy that I will ban this, I will culturally police this aspect.
Raghavan, I'd come back to the same debate which we are having, a few minutes ago, and you said no, our relations with most of our neighbors is very dynamic. I don't know how far you agree, ma'am. I named Afghanistan, where perhaps both of you desisted from remarking because there isn't much happening with Afghanistan. Now, if I mention Myanmar and Nepal and Sri Lanka, perhaps we would, in terms of what we are doing culturally with these three countries, really is not in front of us for all of us to see and appreciate. I mean, if we perhaps go and access Google, we'll get to know something about it.
No, but I just want to quickly respond to the dynamism that you mentioned. Let us remember that whatever is happening in Bangladesh is not a matter of our doing, number one. And number two, if the situation is so unsure, where, you are seeing, I know when we hear that the memory of Sheikh Mujib is of great reverence, it's true.
Hit the nail on the head, because things in the neighborhood are not very normal otherwise. I mean, in the sense, Afghanistan.
But also, Raghavji, just completing this thought. The point of reference here is also that how do you democratically uproot unpopularity by elections? You don't go and destroy public property, you destroy everything which would have connotated to the creation of Bangladesh and to its creator, Sheikh Mujib. And you don't just destroy it, you literally, it's like a mass massacre that happens, over days and days and days. And then how do you look at it and take a step back and then wonder that there can be engagement with a situation which is occurring? Yeah, but don't you want to be sure as to where it's leading? How can you be engaged with something where it is unleashing itself is
He would be the best person how we should engage.
No, you see, there's often things happen which are not in your control. You're quite right. We had nothing to do with what happened in Bangladesh, and it had a certain incendiary quality to it, and which you may not like, which in fact you may abhor, but you still have to live with that situation. It's very much like Afghanistan. Yeah. What happened over there was not in your control. It was an American architecture, and it came apart much more rapidly than anyone could have anticipated. And in a sense, all that you had put in the 20 years previously seemed to be just disappearing in front of your eyes. But then you find that, okay, you decided to take a more matter-of-fact, clinical, less sentimental approach, and you said that this is my neighbor, I have to deal with it, good or bad. And then you find that once you take that approach, maybe you can find new possibilities emerging, which is what has happened. Who could have thought? I mean, just like we are outraged today at what happened in Pahalgam, a few years ago, we were equally outraged about the Taliban. It was as popular a slogan as that there can be no talks and terror can't go together. If you recall, we had an earlier slogan: there's no difference between good Taliban and bad Taliban.
Yes, of course.
But then you realize that policies cannot be made by slogans. I mean, this is the ultimate dilemma for people in public life in India. Fortunately, I'm not in public life. But people in public life have to explain to people, have to explain to a larger audience that we have to be guided by more pragmatic considerations. We cannot be led by sentiment. So I would say that in Bangladesh, again, what is happening is not something which we want, not certainly something which we sympathize with or agree with, but we still have to address it. Absolutely. We cannot cut ourselves off from that situation.
Right. Before I wrap up this conversation, a very interesting conversation that we've had, I would like to come back to the original point on which we had started, and this was that film, Sardarji 3. मुझे एक चीज़ आपसे पता करनी है वाणी जी कि ये जो फिल्म बनी और बाहर रिलीज़ हुई है, तो क्या इन लोगों ने यहाँ अप्लाई किया फिल्म की रिलीज़ के लिए, या ये अभी तक उन्होंने अप्लाई ही नहीं किया है, या अप्लाई किया और हमने उसको रिलीज़ नहीं किया बोर्ड ऑफ फिल्म सर्टिफिकेशन ने, या एक कोई इनफॉर्मल सा बैन जो है कुछ गिल्ड्स के कहने पे, सिने गिल्ड्स के कहने पे ये एक इनफॉर्मल सा बैन जो है वो लागू हुआ है।
देखिए वैसे तो अगर हाँ मैं समझ रही हूँ, लेकिन इंटरनेशनल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन सर्किट में एक बहुत ही क्लियर मैसेज होता है कि जिस फिल्म में, जो फिल्म जिस देश में बनती है वहाँ का सर्टिफिकेशन इंटरनेशनल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन के लिए ज़रूरी है। तो अब क्योंकि मैं एक्चुअली इस फिल्म के सर्टिफिकेशन का पार्ट, मतलब मुझे नहीं पता कि इसने अप्लाई किया कि नहीं, क्योंकि एक्चुअली ये मुंबई का रीजनल ऑफिसर बता पाएगा, तो ये तो मुझे नहीं मालूम, क्योंकि मैं आपको गलत इन्फॉर्मेशन क्यों दूँ। लेकिन मुझे ये ज़रूर हैरानी है कि ये फिल्म अगर रिलीज़ हुई है बाकी ओवरसीज़ कुछ कंट्रीज़ में, उन्होंने सर्टिफिकेशन बिकॉज द लॉ ऑफ मोस्टली द लॉ ऑफ सर्टिफिकेशन, लॉ ऑफ डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन सेज यू हैव टू हैव द सर्टिफिकेशन ऑफ द ओरिजिन कंट्री। लेकिन ये पता करना पड़ेगा, तो ये एक विषय है कि ये सर्टिफाई हुई कि नहीं हुई। लेकिन ये भी मैं बता दूं, इंडस्ट्री एसोसिएशंस एक तो बैन नहीं करती हैं, वो एक स्टैंड लेती हैं, जैसा कि उन्होंने इसमें लिया पाकिस्तान के आर्टिस्ट पर। सेंट्रल बोर्ड ऑफ फिल्म सर्टिफिकेशन थिएट्रिकल रिलीजेस के लिए फिल्म सर्टिफाई करता है, जो भी पब्लिक में एग्जिबिट होगा वो सर्टिफाई होगा। और इंडस्ट्री एसोसिएशंस वर्क वेरी मच इन टैंडम, not at a tangent, but in tandem with the certification laws of the land, which is in any country, whether it's the United States or in France or in Europe and so on. Their own certification bodies exist, and you know they certify films for public exhibition. लेकिन जहाँ तक भारत का सवाल है, रिलीज़ नहीं हुई है, सर्टिफिकेशन के लिए एप्लीकेशन हुआ कि नहीं मैं नहीं बता पाऊँगी, लेकिन जिन कंट्रीज़ में हुई है, अगर सर्टिफाई नहीं हुई है, वो कैसे रिलीज़ हुई है, ये it's a matter of questioning.
Yeah, it's an interesting
because generally ये होता है, हाँ ये होता है कि फिल्म सर्टिफाई होती है हर इंटरनेशनल डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर, क्योंकि पंजाबी फिल्म है जो भारत की भाषा है, मतलब एक इंडियन लैंग्वेज फिल्म है, तो वो फिल्म सर्टिफिकेशन देखकर उसका इंटरनेशनल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन करते हैं। तो ये तो देखना पड़ेगा कि कैसे ये बाकी देशों में प्रदर्शित हुई और कैसे।
मतलब ऑन अ लाइटर नोट, कहीं ऐसा तो नहीं कि पाकिस्तान में भी पंजाबी जो है वो बोली जाती है, तो इसलिए उन्होंने उसको वहाँ भी रिलीज कर दिया?
वो बोली जाती है विषय, बट द ओरिजिन कंट्री ऑफ प्रोडक्शन इज इंडिया, सिंस देयर इज अ इंडियन।
आई एम जस्ट सेइंग इट क्वाइट जोकिंगली। सो दोस्तों, फिर आज इस इंटरेस्टिंग कॉन्वर्सेशन को यहीं ख़त्म करते हैं। आपने देखा और सुना, एक व्यू तो ये है बहुत कैटेगोरिकल कि इस तरह की फिल्में जो हैं जिसमें पाकिस्तान से लोग आके शिरकत करते हैं, वो इंडिया में इसलिए आज के दिन में नहीं रिलीज़ होनी चाहिए क्योंकि हम लोगों ने एक स्टैंड लिया है टेररिज्म के ख़िलाफ़, और टेररिज्म और उसके साथ और कुछ भी चीज़ जो है वो भारत इसके पक्ष में आज है कि कुछ और लागू नहीं होगा। जो दूसरा स्टैंड है वो ये है कि भाई कल्चर एक ऐसी फ्लेक्सिबल चीज़ है और एक ऐसा सेक्टर है जिसमें हमेशा हमें इंगेज रहना चाहिए और उससे कोई हानि नहीं होती है। तो ये दोनों पक्ष जो है एम्बेसडर राघवन और वानी त्रिपाठी जी ने बहुत ही ज़ोर शोर से रखे, एंड आई होप यू एन्जॉयड द कॉन्वर्सेशन टुडे। इसी तरह के एपिसोड्स मैं लेके आपके साथ वापस जो है वो मिलता हूँ एक हफ्ते के अंदर, और आप हमारे पॉडकास्ट को लाइक करें, सब्सक्राइब करें, शेयर करें, मेरी आपसे यही इंतज़ार है। थैंक यू।